Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, Maya Angelou. What do they have in common? Well, they all have publicly said, I feel like a fraud. One day everyone will realize I'm not that good. Well, I'm thinking, if the most decorated, celebrated performers in our history feel this way, what does it tell you about your own self-doubt? Welcome to How to Overcome Imposter Syndrome on Stage. I'm Dr. Maya Angelou, clinical and counseling psychologist and the founder of Beyond the Spotlight Psychology. Over the next several weeks, we are breaking down the 5 types of imposter syndrome that plague professional performers, and we are talking about how to overcome each one of them. So what is imposter syndrome? There are many detailed definitions, but I think in simple terms, it is the persistent, pervasive belief that you are a fraud, despite clear evidence of your talent, of your successes, and so on. So you explain every achievement with explanations like, oh, I got lucky. They lowered their standards. It wasn't that hard. Oh, everyone could have done it. Or they just haven't figured out I'm not that good yet. Oh my word, I get that a lot, especially here on YouTube, recording those videos for you. For performers, this is particularly brutal because every time you step on stage, you are actually exposed, visible, and vulnerable. And your brain whispers, what if today is the day they realize I'm a fraud? What if? Research shows that imposter syndrome leads to huge anxiety, burnout, perfectionism, and actually holding yourself back from opportunities you've earned. And that's why it's so important to understand it and find ways of working with it. It's not just self-doubt, it's a pattern that keeps you stuck. So, a psychologist called Valerie Young identified 5 types of imposter syndrome, and I have adapted them for you, specifically for you, stage performers. Type 1 is the perfectionist performer. You believe one wrong note, one forgotten line, one imperfect moment means you are a fraud. You set so impossibly high standards for yourself and you beat yourself up over tiny mistakes. Okay, so that's probably the classic perfectionist. Type 2, the expert performer. You find you must know everything before you deserve to be on that stage. You endlessly study, rehearse, over-prepare, and you still feel unprepared or underprepared, right? What a recipe for a burnout. Number 3, the natural genius performer. You equate talent with ease. You think that if you are talented, everything should come to you easily. If something feels difficult, you assume you are not good enough. Struggle means you are a fraud. But here is the truth. In every job, we struggle with certain elements of it, right? We all do. Type 4, the soloist performer. You believe asking for help means you are not truly talented. You must achieve everything alone to prove your worth. You keep doing it alone. Wow, again, that's a recipe for burnout too. Type 5, the superhero performer. You try to excel in every role, not just as a perfect artist on stage. You have to be a perfect partner, a perfect sibling, a perfect parent, a perfect friend, and so on. When you can't do it all, because we can't, you feel like a failure. Alright, so most performers are actually a combination of 2 or 3 different types. And here is why imposter syndrome hits performers especially hard. You are constantly evaluated, no doubt about it. Your performances are judged, especially in auditions or competitions.
On top of that, success is quite subjective, right? There is no objective measure of good enough. It's whichever casting director or panel have in mind for a specific role. Yet you are compared to others. There are rankings, reviews, casting decisions. So what happens is your identity becomes tied to your art. When you fail, it feels like the whole of you failed, not just that performance. The industry is very competitive and unstable. Jobs are temporary. Rejection is constant. I really, really feel for you. Because in this environment, in this ecosystem, your brain learns, I'm only as good as my last performance. Before every performance, your nervous system needs regulation. I've created the FBI Reset Toolkit, which gives you a 10-second grounding technique to calm pre-show nerves. It's a free audio with an explanation, with a guidebook, so please download it, link in the description, and let me know how it goes. Over the next 5 weeks, I'll dive deep into each of those imposter syndrome types. So we will look at a bit of a knowledge, why you develop this pattern and how it's sabotaging your career. And then we will look at one specific technique to overcome it. So next week, we start with the perfectionist performer. If you believe one mistake means you are a fraud, that video is definitely for you. Now, take a moment and ask yourself, which type resonates with me? The perfectionist who demands flawlessness? The expert who never feels prepared enough and has to overdo? The natural genius who thinks struggle means failure? The soloist who must do everything alone? Or the superhero trying to excel in every role in life? Drop it in the comments. Let's start the conversation. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean you are not talented. It means you've tied your worth to external validation, okay? And over this series, we are going to untangle that. I'm Dr. Maya Angelou. Subscribe so that you don't miss the next video. Me and my imposter syndrome are hoping that I can see you here next week.